Hey, Mike, can I have permission to record, please?
Yes, who's this, Reese? Give me a second. Sorry, I'm using this on my tablet and I'm trying to have a.
That's not working.
Okay, I allowed you, Reese, to record. Anyone else want to record real quick? Just say your name.
Yeah, Craig.
Okay, Craig, give me 1 second. Let me let you record. Okay, Craig, you're good. Anyone else would like to record? I do ask that you mute yourself if you are not talking. Okay, if we are good to go, then is there anyone else last second need to record? Want to record? Let me know, please. All right, well, we are basically ready to go, Coach. If you want to give a little opening statement about playing Appalachian State on Saturday, and we'll go, or on Thursday, we'll go from there.
You got ahead of yourself for Saturday, huh? I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, and hopefully we all play on Saturday. But Appalachian State on Thursday is going to be a tough challenge. Obviously they're a Sun Belt champion. Like we told our guys the other day, in this tournament, you're going to play against a lot of champions. So, it's going to be a tough game every game that you play. This is why the 68 teams are here. They're some of the 68 best teams in the country. So it's going to be a tough game. We're still preparing for it. Obviously, with us just finding out the opponent on Sunday. So we're still preparing day by day for it. Today we had a good day of practice. Tomorrow we'll have another good day, and Thursday we'll have to shoot around.
okay, I seem to be having issues with my tablet here, clicking on things. But if anyone would like to ask Coach a question, please, at this moment, please unmute yourself so I can get my tablet working. Just unmute yourself and ask the question, and try to keep it one at a time, please.
I'll start, Rob, if you can hear me. Is Appalachian's depth and versatility, is that a concern? They have, I think, 5 guys scoring at least 9.9 points a game.
Yeah, but then that's where it stops. It's kind of like a big drop off, honestly. And I know you're saying 5 guys in the starting lineup scoring that much, and we don't have that per se. But I think we got. Don't we have 4 guys or something? I know Jalen and Krishan and Devontae and Joe. But their depth is not a concern. They're not really that deep. They play those starters for the majority of the game, honestly. So if we could use our depth to wear on them a little bit, then hopefully it'll bode well in our favor. Because if you look at those the Sun Belt conference tournament, a lot of those guys played 39, 38. It was an overtime game. I think there was like a couple of 41s and 44s that played. So it's going to be, hopefully our depth can wear on their starting 5s.
Hey, Coach. John Titel from hoopshd.com. 2 questions. You lost to Coppin State 3 times in 3 weeks in January and February. So I wanted to know how you were able to refocus, or what changed to win your last 6 in a row. And question number 2, as an assistant back on the most famous, I assume, Norfolk State team ever, did you learn anything from the great upset of 2012 that you think can help you this week?
Well, the Coppin State question, it was kind of easy to refocus, really. I think we got their attention by losing, because, the first game we played Coppin, I think we had beat them 14 times straight. And then the last few times were about, like an average of like 22 points a game. We had beat those guys. So I really think the first game was like a shell shock to our guys, because I don't think anybody thought that Coppin State could beat us. But then they beat us. And then they beat us twice up there. So when we got home, we beat them the first game at home. And then honestly, we had just had a poor shooting game the second game, and they were able to win. So, once again, credit to those guys. But it wasn't like a real big come to Jesus meeting or anything like that after we lost to Coppin State. It was just, hey, we lost. We're in a different situation now that we know we have to play a little better to have a chance to win the regular season divisional championship. And we did that. We had our backs against the wall against Morgan State. We had to win both of those games at Morgan State on the road, which is probably one of the best teams, if not the most talented team in our league. And we were able to do that. I think that gave us the confidence that we could win the whole thing after we had the adversity, and we were able to still win with our backs against the wall at Morgan State. Now, the next question about the 2012 upset. I definitely have told our guys, you gotta, excuse me, I hate these headphones. These headphones don't stay in my ear for some reason. I don't. But the 2012 team, I've told these guys plenty of times about the 2012 tournament experience, and honestly, this is nowhere near the tournament experience that we had in 2012. It's never close. But once again, people who don't know what we experienced in 2012 think this is pretty cool, right? So it's okay. But just going out there and beating Missouri and beating, and it could have easily been a 116 game right there too. And we just go out there competing and beating those guys. I tell those guys all the time that we can do anything we want to do. So if we're fortunate enough to play on Saturday, like I said, it's a big game that's happening. A big game that's happening on Thursday for us. But if we're able to play on Saturday, it's something that hasn't, that for us that has happened before. Even in 2019, in the NIT, we were a big underdog in the 2000. In I think 17-point underdog against Alabama, and we won that game. So it was it can be done. It's tremendous. If it gets to that point, and if it does happen, we're going to be ready to play that game.
Okay, our next question comes in from Adam Winkler. Adam, go ahead. And again, I'm having trouble with my iPad, so I can't unmute you. You have to unmute yourself.
Coach, how you doing?
You gotta mute yourself too, Bella, because there's a lot of they can hear my feedback.
Coach, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How would you describe bubble life? I know you told us the other day that it's kind of like being in jail.
Yeah.
How would you describe it now that you've got a little bit of freedom?
Once again, I've never spent any time in prison. Unfortunately, I know a few people that have spent some time in prison, and this is I would probably equate it to the nicest jail that you could probably be in right now, because today was my first time outside since Saturday, and so this is the first time outside getting fresh air since Saturday. So I guess they let us walk the yard or something, right? Go outside, go to practice, and things like that. But you get the food, delivered to you right now. Even in the background, they're setting up our dinner, which you guys can't see. But everything is just so scheduled. You eat here, you eat this time, you eat this time, you eat this time. This is your food choices. You got 2 food choices, 3 food choices, and so it's not like you just go in and just ordering whatever you want. But it's not the easiest thing right now. I think that what's helping everybody is the excitement of playing in March Madness. Honestly, if we weren't playing in March Madness, this would be like crazy right here. What's going on? So, but it's still not the easiest thing that's going on right now.
Hey, Coach, Craig Loper, Wavy 10. Mike, can you try to mute yourself? You keep popping up and getting the feedback. Hey, Coach, I had a question, just kind of in that same vein about bubble life, but in a little bit different aspect. I spoke with the head athletic trainer for the Norfolk State athletic department earlier today, Megan. And March is National Athletic Trainer Month. Can you just speak to, from your vantage point, what your training staff on the basketball team and just in general at Norfolk State has been through the last year when it comes to the testing, when it comes to people in and out of the facilities, when it comes to contact tracing? What has it been like from your vantage point to watch them work through all this?
I mean, kudos to them and credit to them. They've done a lot for us. They've handled the testing. They've done testing on the road. Not only, we weren't the only team that was playing for a while, so they're testing other athletes. So in addition to, their regular duties of rehab and taping ankles and things like that. So they had a lot put on them, this year with COVID testing. A lot of additional duties put on them this year with COVID testing, and they've done a great job. And so, once again, credit to Megan, of course, Jessica Cole. She works with us directly with men's basketball. So, you know, it's just a credit to them of keeping us safe as possible. And they always, you know, they'll get on you they're like the mask police. You know, they make sure that you wear your mask and everything like that. So you know, it's a credit to those ladies.
Coach, with the when you're dealing with the players this week, do you treat this like March Madness? Do you try to keep a lid on maybe the emotions? How do you deal with that?
I think honestly, Scott, it's easy to do that right now because you know, a lot of the guys, of course, we walk into the venues and we walk, and when we do actually walk around the hotel, everyone's kind of filming it and trying to take, like, you know, notes and, you know, visual notes for the world to see, whether they put it on IG or whatever social media platforms they're putting this stuff on. But as far as like in 2012 right now, like the hotel would be buzzing a little bit, like outside would be buzzing, you know, so you kind of feel it a little bit more than right now. Like the hotel is completely empty except for the 14 teams that's in here, which is like the strangest thing because we're in a Hyatt Regency, which is a pretty nice hotel. And it is quiet, like, except for if you see another team, which is almost eerie. So you really kind of just approaching like another game, you know, and I think that it'll probably finally hit when you, and maybe it won't, I don't know. Because I mean, when you go to, you know, you play Appalachian State on Thursday, you only play in front of a few hundred fans because of the restrictions. So, you know, I don't know when it will hit that you're actually part of March Madness. Maybe when if you're fortunate enough to win, you can see your name advance. You know, maybe it'll hit then. But I think these guys, they're excited about being here, and they realize that, you know, we're a part of something special. But it's just not the full, I guess, the feel that even some of those guys were expecting. Because even like a kid like Devontae Carter, you know, with all the procedures with us being on lockdown and things like that, he said, "Coach, so this is what happens when you win." And I'm like, you know, this year, yeah, this year, this is what happens when you win. You know, you go to lockdown and stuff. So, but you know, hey, everybody wants to win on Thursday, and everybody wants to try to keep this thing going as much as possible. Are you much into pregame speeches? I mean, do you have an idea what you might be saying? I'm looking for a soundbite to run Thursday at 6 o'clock. Are you thinking about what you might be telling the guys before tip-off? No, I usually don't think about that until like the day of the game, to be honest with you. I try not to have anything too pre-planned or like cookie cuttered already, you know, there. It's just like I just try to go over emotion, you know, how I'm feeling that day. So sorry, I can't give you that soundbite right now. Sorry.
I'm gonna go to I got Kyle here. Oh, sorry. Kyle's been waiting, and then I will go from Kyle to Matt Rebock from NJ Hoopers. So you guys, Kyle first, and then Matt next.
Coach, with 2012, that was such an introduction to the country of Kyle O'Quinn, and now with Devontae having that opportunity, what kind of player would you describe him as to people who are going to be seeing him for the first time? A very multifaceted player. You know, I mean, it kind of showed what he could do when he almost had a triple-double in the MEAC Tournament. You know, he can score, he can rebound. He's our leading rebounder. He's our leading scorer, rebounder, and assist guy. You know, so that just shows you what he can do. He's the Swiss Army knife for us. He can do a little bit of everything. And you know, a lot of times people get on his shooting and things like that, but he actually shoots it at a very, very, very high clip from mid-range, which, you know, causes team, I guess, to back up, you know, and things like that because they worry about his three-point shot. But then they back up so much they give him a spot that he can shoot a mid-range. So it still works out well for him. And actually, he does shoot the three a little better than his percentages show. So, you know, hopefully he'll have a Dan Marley night or Steve Kerr night, you know, on Thursday or something for us. But, you know, he is a multifaceted player. He can do a lot of things. And with the 2019, you know, with the guys who are back from that team, how much are you able to draw off that Alabama game, you know, in terms of instilling some level of confidence in this kind of tournament situation? Well, last year, 2020, we had, you know, 10 newcomers. So a lot of those guys didn't play in the Alabama game, honestly. But they were recruited here kind of from the Alabama game, if you understand what I'm saying. Like, we used that in our recruiting pitch. So a lot of people were very familiar with the Alabama game or even saw the Alabama game. Now, last year when the season was cut short due to COVID, you know, those kids missed the opportunity to even get a chance to get to this point. So I think that stayed with them for 365 days. And then, you know, guys like Chavis and Bryant and Ford and, I mean, myself and the rest of the coaches, honestly, that 3-point loss to Central stayed with us for 730 days. And we couldn't wait to get back to the MEAC tournament. So there was a lot of motivational factor
this year with the tournament and things like that. So, you know, we couldn't necessarily draw up the Alabama experience, but because no one's really here from that team. But just the experience of not being able to play last year is getting us, you know, got us motivated for this year.
Go ahead, Matt. Matt Rebock or Rebock. Sorry if I butchered that. You can. You're next.
It's okay. Thank you. Hey, Coach. Matt Rebock, NJ Hoopers. Kind of rebounding off the last thing you just said. How has the addition via transfer of senior guard Mustafa Lawrence from Fresno State really helped your program? And what can you do to help your team succeed on Thursday night?
It hasn't helped at all. That's not the answer you wanted, right? I'm just joking with you, man. But he has done a great job, you know, of being a solid point guard for us. You know, right now he's in a backup role, but he actually adds a different dimension to Devontae, honestly. And, you know, because he can probably shoot a little better than Devontae, even though his percentages sometimes don't show, but he probably can shoot a little better than Devontae. Devontae's probably a little quicker and things like that. So it adds a different dimension, a different change of pace when he's in the game. And also with him being, you know, from, he played at Fresno, played at Missouri State, was a JUCO All-American, things like that. He has some good experience, which helps to his team a lot. He helps the younger guys and things like that. So, you know, his on-the-court play and his off-the-court play has helped this team this year.
Okay, Dave Hall, you are up next.
To follow up on the Alabama comment, yeah, you don't have any guys who were in on that win necessarily, but what experiences will your players draw from so they meet this moment on Thursday?
I think we'll draw from experiences with our non-conference schedule. Our non-conference schedule was we played teams like Appalachian State. We played teams maybe a little better than Appalachian State, honestly, so that we could draw on that experience. I mean, honestly, some of the teams in conference was pretty good. I mean, Morgan and Coppin, you know, they had pretty good talent, very similar or if not even better than Appalachian State. So I think that Appalachian State is a very good program. They're a very good team this year. But I think that we won't be in awe, you know, by any means because we play people that look just like them, you know, at the beginning of the year. Now, do we have to go back and think about, you know, those games? Of course, because we've been playing conference games all, you know, for most of the year. But Appalachian State definitely is a team that's similar to like a James Madison. They're similar to a Radford, really, honestly. And so we've kind of seen this style of play already. And like I said, you know, hopefully those first few minutes just be like a refresher course of you know, of that style of play.
What is their style of play?
Well, they're a very defensive-minded team, similar to us. They play a similar style of defense as us, so it's kind of like playing against, I guess, in practice a little bit. They're tough-nosed. They'll be the first to the floor. Their mantra is to try to be the toughest team on the floor at all times. I mean, and that's a little bit of our mantra. So we'll see who's the toughest team, I guess. But you know, they got great guards. You know, like someone mentioned earlier, I think you, right? They got great guard play. And we have to stop their guards. You know, they don't have anybody averaging 15 points or 14 points, but like you said, they have, you know, 2 or 3 guys averaging around that 13 mark. They don't mind playing slow, but they also don't mind pushing the tempo either. So, like I said, it's similar to our team, and they you know, they want to be rugged a little bit. So we have to just take some of their bumps and you know, just play through it. But that's similar to their style. And also with them, you know, we got to try to make sure we don't allow them to shoot a lot of threes because when they make 10 threes or more, they're 7-0. When they make 10 threes or less, they're 1-7. So you know, that's kind of one of our goals to slow the 3-point line down.
Scott, you are up next.
Coach, you got major contributions from players from the 757. What does that mean to the program?
I mean, I guess it means a lot. You know, I guess, you know, I think that it's good to have major contributions from anybody. You know, but I think for the hometown kids, it was real big for them to win in the scope. Honestly, like a guy like Joe Bryant who played at Lake Taylor, you know, who played in the scope, I think in high school championships, high school semifinals or whatever it was. It probably meant a lot to him to be able to have such a dominant performance in the scope. So, I think that actual championship meant a lot to the 757 guys because they've seen Norfolk State. They've also heard the stories about Norfolk State in 2012 and 2019 if they weren't there. So that meant a lot to them. But to have them to be major contributors, I think that you have to have someone to be a major contributor. So I'm not quite sure how that, makes a difference. But, it definitely makes a difference for them, being from the hometown to be at this point to say that they got their home school to March Madness again. Because, at the end of the day, Scott, this is only the second time we ever been here, so and to have some hometown flavor leaders back to it, I think that probably meant the most to them. It's not like I think some people forget that because we beat Missouri in 2012. People think that we're like Kentucky or Duke, that we come here every year. Like we don't come here every year. This is our second time, coming here. Even some people thought that when we beat Alabama a couple of years ago, they're like, oh, that was in the NCAA tournament. Like, no, that was an NIT. It was a great win, but it was an NIT. So this is the second time in 23 years as a Division I. So it's a big deal.
Adam Winkler, you had your hand up next, so you can go ahead.
Coach, we've known you for a while, and you're a cool customer. You told us the other day you felt more pressure last week in Norfolk trying to win the MEAC than you do now, coupled with the information you told us about how there's really no buzz and it doesn't necessarily feel like March Madness. How do you think your players are going to react when you guys step on the floor Thursday night? Do you think nerves will be a factor because this is the biggest game they've played?
No, I don't think nerves is going to be a factor at all, to be honest with you, because I think that, like when we played against Missouri, it was like 18,000 people there. We're talking about 800 people that we might play in front of the, now that might be one of the biggest crowds we play in front of all year, which is insane, right? But, we play in the Assembly Hall, which is, extremely big. And to have 800 people, or less in there is going to feel, weird, I guess. So I don't think it's going to be a lot of pressure, honestly, because, crowds make you feel pressure. They make you feel anxiety. When you go out there, you play in front of 18, 20, 15,000 people, you feel that anxiety. So it's a little different playing in front of 800. And I think that, they're going to be used to that. And it's going to just be another game because they honestly didn't put that much pressure on themselves. From what I saw anyway, they look pretty loose in the MEAC tournament, and that's like the most high pressure situation that they've been in all year. And they came out really pretty loose and having fun and things like that. So hopefully they'll do the same in the NCAA tournament.
We'll take one from Dave Hall, and then after that we'll take one more, and then that'll be it. And we'll have Joe after that.
Rob, as somebody from North Carolina, I just want to remind you to not slip up and say Appalachian. You'll piss off an entire fan base.
It's Appalachian, right?
Yeah, Appalachian. You said
okay.
Appalachian a couple times.
Oh, damn, man. They got to excuse me.
How often are you guys getting tested now?
Every moment we get tested. We got tested twice or when we came out here. We got tested after the MEAC championship game, and then as soon as we landed, we got tested, and we've been getting tested every single day since then. So, we got tested today, I think 9:45 this morning we got tested. And then tomorrow, I'm not quite sure the time tomorrow, but I'm sure it's probably about 9:45 tomorrow as well. And then I'm sure we'll get tested the day of, and, we'll keep the party going, I guess. But, we just getting tested every single day.
Anyone else have any questions for Coach Jones? If not, we will raise your hand now. If not, we will bid adieu to Coach.
All right,
Dave, you got one more?
I got to sanitize the headphones, right? We're in COVID age. Hold on before I give it to Joe. So, all right, we good?
All right, thank you, Coach, for joining us.
All right.
Thanks, Rob.
Okay, Coach Jones. I apologize for the issues earlier, everyone. Trouble with my ear. Can't seem to get off of a certain screen. I can unmute you now, but I can't seem to get anywhere else. So I apologize for that. We'll get Joe here in 2 seconds. So hold on 1 second. All right, everyone, we've got Joe Bryant here. Joe, let me unmute you. Oops, ask to unmute. I think you have to unmute yourself, actually. There we go. Okay. Adam, I think I saw your hand up first, so you can go ahead.
Hey, Joe, Coach said that bubble life is like being in the nicest prison in the world. How would you describe living this bubble life up there in Indianapolis?
I would definitely agree with Coach. I mean, the hotel rooms and stuff is nice, but we're not able to, leave the hotel and roam around the city like we want to. So we just, have to stay in the hotel and just be safe as possible.
Hey, Joe, this is Craig at Wavy. Hey, man, I spoke to your head athletic trainer earlier today just about kind of the year that they've had. And March is actually National Athletic Training Month. And from a player's perspective, what's it been like watching them go to work? Obviously, you work really closely with athletic trainers every day, not just getting your ankles taped and getting treatment, but just the testing and the in and out of the buildings. What's it been like watching them work from a player's perspective?
Watching them work is definitely, they do a great job with us, obviously with the ankle tapes and stuff, but, trying to help us stay as safe as possible. They do a really good job with that.
Okay, we got Kyle next, and then we'll go to Dave Hall after that.
Joe, in the last month of the season, with your scoring picking up so much, what do you feel like has been clicking for you, and how do you keep that moving, here in the NCAA tournament?
The guys been keeping me involved. They telling me that they need me and to attack and stuff. So with that, like with them telling me that, I just been so focused on, getting myself involved, just get my shot ready.
Dave Hall, you are up next.
Hey, Joe. I'm sure you've had a chance to watch some film on Appalachian State. What struck you as something you guys need to worry about?
They have a three-headed monster, some guys that can score. So we just have to limit those guys and make the other guys try to beat us. So that's really the game plan.
John, you are up next, followed by Adam.
Thanks, Mike. Two questions, Joe. Number one, this is not your first time in the postseason. I was wondering how it compares to the 2019 NIT. I assume it's very different, but you'll let me know. And then secondly, it seems like you and Coach and everybody are focused on the game at hand, because obviously that is the next game on your schedule. But is it easy? Because it seems to me like if I had an undefeated team waiting for me down the road in the weekend, I would have at least a little bit of my attention.
You say the 2019 season, the NIT. It was good. It was a great experience. Playing one of the top teams in Alabama and beating them and making school history. So that was good. But honestly, there's nothing like the big dance, the NCAA tournament. So making the NCAA tournament is just a dream come true. And what was the second question again?
Staying focused on your fellow 16 seed without looking forward to the number 1 seed.
Coach just tells us take it one day at a time, one practice at a time, one game at a time. We can't look forward. We can't skip past anybody because anybody can lose. He always says it's a fine line between winning and losing. So we just got to take it one day at a time and not overlook anybody.
Okay, Adam, you are up next, and followed by David Hall.
You said it's a dream come true to play in March Madness, but it's also, as we've heard Coach say, it's going to be just like any other game because there's not going to be 18,000 fans there, and you guys played in the pressure cooker of the MEAC. I'm just wondering what are the emotions like for you and your teammates, and what do you think they're going to be like when you take the floor Thursday night to play App State?
Well, Monday was our first time practicing, so Monday was just kind of get all the excitement out, get our legs back under it since we haven't played since we've been on the flights and stuff. But today we've been locked in. Today, tomorrow we're gonna be locked in, ready for Thursday. So we should be ready for sure.
Dave, you are up next, followed by Kyle.
Joe, coach said facing Appalachian State's a little bit like facing yourselves. In what ways are they similar?
Well, they got some guys that can score. We have some guys that can score. We have, a physical presence inside, and they also have a physical presence inside, and they are a tough team. They try to out tough you. So do we. We have a tough team as well, and we try to use that to our advantage.
And Kyle, you are up next.
How would you describe the kind of teammate that Devontae is, and how do you guys sort of feed off one another?
He's a great teammate. He's a great leader. He just get guys involved. He's a great teammate as well. If he's not going, then I have to get going, obviously, and it's vice versa as well.
Adam Winkler, you're up next.
Joe, you said there's nothing like the big dance, and you guys are getting kind of more locked in as you go. I'm wondering if you've had a moment where you've been like, okay, this is the big dance, or maybe you're waiting for that to come Thursday night. Can you kind of just talk us through? Does it feel like March Madness, and if not, when do you think it'll hit you?
It honestly hasn't hit me yet. Obviously winning the MEAC championship, obviously we go to the big dance, so that was a great feeling, but it hasn't really hit me yet until we play Thursday. Till we see the other team, all the cameras and stuff, and really get the March Madness experience.
Okay, if there's anyone else who would like a question, please raise your hand. And if not, we will let Joe go and finish up our press conference here. No last questions? Okay, well, Joe, thank you for joining us.
Good luck, Joe.
Appreciate it.
All right, well, that will conclude our press conference. Once again, I'm sorry, apologize for the issues earlier. Trying to work this on my tablet and it doesn't seem to be wanting to respond as well, but I will have these Zooms, or this one Zoom, I'll be able to give you guys the on-demand version of it as soon as I can download it and get it sent. So if you want that, just give me an email or a text or something, let me know that you want it, and we'll go from there. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
See you, man.
See ya.
What time tomorrow?
12:30.